Episode 3, No Ideas Original, Shannon and Mr. Rob.
Old school, new school, no school rules. What's good? What's up, bro?
Same shit, different day. Yo, how your week been so far?
Yo, man, not that I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I'm always home. But having the girls and the family there, and being more cognizant of what we do, I think it's starting to pay off positively. I'm gonna say that. So
Yeah.
it's been like that. How about yourself?
We on the DIY kick. We completed the
Yeah, so you
mosaic
did the
tiles.
splash. Good job, son.
Yeah, it came out really
You
good.
had to put the things back around.
The
sockets or whatever.
Yeah, we had to put the socket. We got one socket though that we still got to replace. We're looking for a granite one to match.
You did a
with
good
the
damn
other
job
tile.
too, son.
Yeah, I wish I could take credit, but that's all Tanya.
Really?
Yeah, Tanya.
What
get
you
on
do? Just pull out the ruler?
Nah. Tanya get on YouTube. Well, this is how it went. Tanya got on YouTube and was like, She said these are air quotes because people can't see it.
Right.
Got a project that we're gonna do. She went and picked out the tile and everything. Came back.
Right.
And I was like, all right, we ready to get started on the project? She was like, oh no, this is actually your project. But Tanya actually, when it comes to like a lot of that crafty stuff, she's really good at it. So
Right.
it involved like of course, like cutting the actual glass for the mosaic tiles,
That's right.
and laying the adhesive
That's right.
and the grout and stuff. It was definitely a learning experience. It was cool though.
It's a process, yes, sir.
Yeah, it was cool. It was
Yes,
cool to
sir.
see it through. So we did that. That was pretty good. I'm catching up on a lot of TV. I'm probably watching more TV than I have in a long time.
Yeah.
Well, shit, you know what I watched? Did you see on Netflix the Tiger King joint?
Everyone's watching that.
Oh my God, that's just a train wreck.
Yeah, everyone's watching that.
Yeah.
I'm not, I've been catching up on a lot of my books, a lot more reading, and doing more research, man. At this time, I'm always digging into myself and how to, better ways of meditating and affirming certain things. I start getting to a different science about life, how I eat, the way I handle myself around the women, make sure my tone is low, because sometimes Janella tell me, she said, Rob, you say it so forcefully, the girls be like, damn, Mr. Rob. and I can see it. You know what I'm saying? Because I can see what I say and how I project it, fuck somebody up. It makes me feel bad because it's like I didn't mean to say it like that, and I didn't want to come off that way. So it's giving me a lot of time, to be honest with you, to self-reflect.
Yeah.
And I'm taking that on a spiritual sense because I want my life to extend. I want things to happen, and I want those around me to extend too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
You see, right now on social media, there's a lot of talk. I've seen today alone probably like 2 or 3 memes where people are saying, which is a fact. They're like, if you don't come out of this quarantine having learned like a new hustle, learned something, read a book, or done something productive, then you wasted your time. And I can't see people just solely sitting around doing nothing.
But the real jewel is that we always had that time.
That's a fact.
It was always there.
Yeah, that's a fact.
We're humans. We're creatures of habit and pattern. And once we get into a rhythm or something that we like, hence the rhythm, we go with it. Why change it?
Mm-hmm.
We have too many of those where we don't even decide to challenge ourselves to do something different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Learn how to go left instead of going right. And people don't know how that affects the brain, and that's the part about ourselves that we need to have a more cognizant knowledge of, is the anatomy of man. Why your eyes do what it do. You know what I'm saying? You just don't have hair. Your hair is a reason for this shit, son. Like, we don't know ourselves in that capacity. We know our names, we know our social security cards, we know where we work, we know our family. You know, most of us know where we come from, I hope. You know what I'm saying? But man, in the vehicle that we are, from 10 toes down to the follicles in your nose and your hair, who is that?
Yeah.
So
hopefully people spend this time getting in touch with themselves.
Getting in touch with themselves, yes sir.
So old school, new school, no school rules. So for this episode, we're gonna talk about Kid Capri and his feedback to DJs on live. We're gonna touch a little bit on the Instagram battles that's been going on.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about this generation versus the previous generation of hip hop. List a couple of underrated Emcees, and then we're also gonna talk about
a lot of underrated. I'm gonna throw them. But see who your hip hop is, kid.
Hip hop.
Okay.
So let's start off with Kid Capri. For those that don't know, Kid Capri has recently been on Instagram and Instagram Live, talking about how he believes that DJs that are going live should not be putting their Cash App up and monetizing their services. Now,
in his humble opinion,
his humble opinion. Oddly enough, I think in the last episode we touched on this briefly, and I was saying that, you know, I checked in, I listened to D Nice a couple of nights, and I felt that it was going to go in the direction of people, you know, a lot of people catching on and saying, okay, there's some money to be made from this. Let me chime in. Let me throw my hat in the ring. And here we are. You know, what I get from Kid Capri is twofold. Kid Capri opposes it because Kid Capri believes that right now the world is it's a time of need, and that people financially may not have the ability to actually contribute or give something.
In times like this, we shouldn't be looking to monetize. But be honest with you, it's times like this. You can't be surprised that something from a monetary standard is going to come out of that. You know what I mean? Look at the people that are making money from this time. Like, I just seen who's the guy, the owner of the guy who's made all the ventilators that are needed. His stock went into the billions, because of need. You know what I'm saying, from a monetary perspective.
Well, think about Dick Cheney. Not to go too far left, but Dick Cheney made tons of dough off of Iraq.
Kid is saying, listen, music was something that's always brought us together. It should have been a no-brainer for us, for any DJ, just to play a dope set. Yeah. But if someone wanted to, so be it. But soliciting it, like, you know what I'm saying? That kind of takes a little taste out of it when you look at it from a totality. You know, there are people out there who for one, probably need to make some money to keep things going.
That's what I was gonna say. The flip side of it is, if you a DJ and your lifeline relies on you actually playing in these clubs,
how you gonna tell me I can't make?
And
this is what I've been doing internet DJing way before it was. People have been going live. You know what I'm saying? So it's a touchy thing. But I think there's a few he might have been chiming at, like, come on, son. Stop, come on, son. You don't need that paper like that. Like, stop playing yourself, B.
To me, I mean, look, I'm a person with a family. And if my livelihood was DJing, you know, and it came down to I couldn't get out to do my shows or, you know, to promote whatever it is as a DJ, and I found a way to generate revenue via live to pay my mortgage or to put food in the fridge or whatever it is.
I'm a DJ on the low, son. Die hard raw. Don't tell me about it.
When you go live.
I used to live in Utica. Shout out to Dr. Dust, old school dude, big homie from Patterson, living up in Utica. For some reason we ended up being roommates and shit. And he has equipment set up in the kitchen. So his turntables was right there on the island, right? When you come in the kitchen, 2 sets of fucking turntables, a mixer, speakers all through the house. And he showed me how to fucking
He was really DJing, or he had Serato?
Nah, son. Nah, we had the wax. He showed me how to count a beat per minute off your watch and all that shit, the old school. I'm like, wow, I'm sitting there counting beats, so.
No disrespect to people who use Serato. You know, I'm not trying to diminish the
Shout
Serato.
Out to DJ. And DJ, like I said, man, it's a fraternity of them guys, man. They're the guys that keep things together, man. And their love for music, Bree. Between them and producers, you gotta really love the melodic science of music to hear it and be like, oh, that should go together with that.
Yeah.
And then, which probably transitions to when we talk about MCs, because oh man, son, I got some underrated for you.
Yeah. No, I'm with Kid Capri because I do think that it can be viewed as tasteless and tacky when people are in a position. Now, one thing that Kid Capri said that really, I think, it really helped to prove his point. He was saying that, if you get online and you're DJing and people say, oh, I'm enjoying the music or the vibe or whatever it is, and I want to give a tip as a result of it, it does have a very different appearance than, here's my Cash App. Oh, you want to hear this record? Here, put this in my Cash App. Yeah, But again, if you think from the perspective of if this is somebody's livelihood, they got to earn a living. People are doing what they need to do.
People doing wild shit on there too now. They got strip clubs going on.
Yeah, but here's something. When Kid Capri had the
twisted world we live in, son.
When Kid Capri had the DJ chat, he had all the DJs come in. So today, I looked at DJ Envy's live, and DJ Envy actually had, what DJ Envy did? He had sponsors, like I think he had Remy Martin. He had sponsors put up money, and he told the DJs that was on there, put your Cash App in to the chat, and we're gonna donate money that we've collected from Remy Martin to the DJs because we know DJs are out of work. Now, I looked at the chat and I'm like, wait a minute, this was regular people putting their names in there, trying to get a bag off of it or whatever. People try to capitalize on anything. But I thought that was good that he had the sponsors foot the bill rather than asking the people.
You gotta come to expect the sneaky, shady shit. It's always alive. The devil works 24 hours a day, my nigga. He don't take time off. He got his little henchmen out there that find little shit like that.
The funny thing is he was reading the names down, and he must have knew some of the DJs. He was like, DJ such and such, you don't need that money. Come on, man. Why you got your people was dead up putting their Cash App in there. You see something like Cash App is Tasha Jenkins. They be like, come on, man, you're not a DJ.
Yeah, get out of here.
But I thought it was nice that he actually went to sponsors and had the sponsors put up the dough for it.
Because look what DJing has become. It's an explosion of it. You know what I'm saying? It's not just our idea because of how we grew up. 2 1200s, a mixer, and you getting busy with a crate of records. It has turned into, not with Serato. Where are they getting their music from? So apparently there's some sort of download. These guys are getting all this music that they can play anywhere. It mixes for you. All you're doing is plug and play. I've seen so many people DJ with CDs, no wax.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, I miss that world. That world.
Because you're purist.
Yeah.
You're purist.
I'm like, yo, what?
You're purist.
I'm used to going and looking for knowing you had to set up your crate.
Yeah.
That's what Dust told me. He said, you
To
got to
each
set
record.
your crate up, son.
Yeah,
So all you got to go is go one record after. That's it. Just keep playing. Just keep going.
Yeah.
You have one crate of records, that'd be your whole party if you play it right.
You know something? I will say I think Serato has helped more people become DJs, but I've seen some DJs with Serato that's still trash. They're still trash. And the reason why, is because even though Serato does a lot of the work for you, you still have to have the ability to actually control the crowd, know which records to get in and out of it. It's definitely a science and an art to it.
Rhythm is a law, son. You better, if you can't obey it, leave it alone. It's a law. You know if you can dance or not. 1 2 1 2. You know what I'm saying? it's just what it is, man.
Yeah. So, for me, like I said, I agree with Kid Capri.
Yeah.
But I also understand why DJs are doing it, and I don't knock people hustle if they got to feed their family.
Right. And we've become a hustle society. We've become I hate to use the word thirsty, but some of us thirst for it. But we know what money can do.
Yeah.
And you get someone desirable enough to want to change their life, they gonna chase that paper.
Yeah. You know what else Kid Capri was saying though? Because you think about it, like D Nice got a lot of good publicity out of this. And Kid Capri was saying, he was like, you know what, the
He
publicity.
had 120 something thousand. You know, what I mean? That's 2 stadiums.
Yeah, Kid Capri was saying, which is true. He was like, the publicity you get that D Nice gets as a result of this, and D Nice wasn't hurt because D Nice was already DJing for famous people, but that's gonna translate into him getting the bag later on. You know, now he's gonna be even more in demand.
Bruh, like I said, you gotta look at it from the numbers perspective, and I think Switch mentioned it as well. If you got 200 people watching, that's 4 stadiums. That's already one part of your tour. Just from these guys' perspective, when you're talking about being a DJ, that means you can rock a 40,000 crowd like that.
So you know what's gonna happen next? We're gonna be watching the D Nice stream, D Nice on live.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's gonna cut away, and it's gonna be like, this is brought to you by Dove Soap.
That's what I'm saying.
In another 30 minutes, it'll cut away. This is brought to you by Remy Martin. Then it's gonna cut away. Brought to you by Ford.
I already pictured D Nice doing Pepsi commercial right now. Pepsi cans is turning around, and he's just on a landing somewhere, just being a regular D Nice DJ with a signature hat. Now he got the fucking Houdini hat.
But is there something wrong with
make him look cool with it? You know what I'm saying? He don't look crazy with it. So
if he did take on advertisers, what would you say? Is there something wrong with that?
what? Nah.
No,
I can't judge what another man. I mean, if it were me, I would in my career wise, I would take a stab at anything that came at me. So.
Yeah, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity.
As long as I ain't got to do nothing crazy for it, if that whatever.
There's
stipulations.
D Nice camp. How you call it? Have a Pornhub commercial.
Yeah, son, don't throw me in the trick bag because he wanted that money. Now he gotta go do. Nah, son, don't play me. Don't do that to me, son.
Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy, but yeah, man. You think people ain't watching? And you get people to see those numbers. Even Drake and Tory Lanez, they boasted about having 300,000. That means at the same time, that many people are focused and they're watching or being delighted or entertained. Those are ratings.
Yeah. I guess what's scary to me about it though is that, you know, it's gonna move away from, almost like you're saying, the purist. It's gonna move away from the whole purist element to solely being something about
this is the transition.
Read.
This is the transition. I want people to understand that man has been man, living the same way for the last 100 years. How he generates, elevates, industrial, all these different things. Now we have technology, which is supposed to not increase man's evolution, because we have, other than that came from my brain. All this shit came from someone thinking about an easier way to do shit. But man has yet to take his next step. And now is the time, because unless you're going to allow this to run your life, where's man to go? That shit can stop. Let a solar flare can hit this planet and there's no electricity. And that's Mother Nature. And that's a very now reality. If a solar flare hits here, or anywhere close, anywhere to knock off some electricity grids, you're going back in time about 300-400 years with no electricity, my nigga. So no Wi-Fi. Fuck all that shit. All your shit is done. Bye-bye. Real fast.
Yeah. And
man hasn't jumped. And that's what I'm saying. Man only knows himself externally. Doesn't know himself internally. And that internally is what man is. That's where you get into knowing yourself.
Yeah.
Bro. Man don't want to take that late because he's so worried about being outside. Niggas don't even want to go home. They gotta be outside. They gotta be, well, it sounds like a contradiction because you talking about nature, where we gotta be outside and be in nature. But no, man wants to be out there chasing that dollar.
Yeah.
And I told Janelle this, told my wife this today. I said, New York is a machine. You ain't turning that machine off.
Yeah. Definitely.
And that's why I got the numbers it is. You gotta think, man. These is people's livelihood. You got how many ways, how many bridges connected to New York? All of them shits got trucks going back and forth. Mm-hmm. That's why there's so much pollution there. Just like Wuhan, China, with all the pollution. I remember working in Brooklyn, looking over into New York and looking at this yellow-green glaze sitting right over New York. Then you seen the fucking blue skies. Yeah. And an older dude told me, he said, "Yeah, ain't that nasty?" Because he knew what I was looking at. He was like, that's all the trucks. Yeah. All that shit. It's like, why wouldn't the fucking Corona be just chilling? He's sitting on the bench with niggas. Like, come on, you want to sit right down. Your lazy ass supposed to be in the house. Come sit right next to me because I'm about to tag you. Yeah.
You check in on any of the Instagram battles yet?
I guess I think I said I caught a little bit of Swiss and Timberland, because I think I caught that battle before, and they tried to get Just Blaze in there, and they tried it before. And it was a live battle too. I think it was real live, but it wasn't on Instagram. But listen, I like where they're going with that. Because it's like, that's almost how, remember back in the days, Jamaicans had their little sounds. They was playing their own dub plates. Son. So I think that's like, yo, playing my hits, man. Yeah. Shit that'll blow apart. Them two. And I'm mad that I missed it, because now I'm thinking about, damn, them niggas got crazy joints.
Yeah. There's been, I watched a number of them. I watched the other night Scott Storch versus Manny Fresh.
Yeah, how was that?
Oh my God.
Scott
Scott Storch destroyed.
Let me tell you this,
Manny Fresh.
But man, I bet you there's joints in there you probably didn't think Manny did. That you probably heard like, Manny did that? Nah.
Because everything that he's playing, Manny ain't played. See, that's why Manny got smoked. Manny played all the shit that was just regional. Like, all the stuff he played was like, okay, Hot Boys, all the Cash Money, all that stuff.
Cash Money shit.
Dope joints. But then when you going up against Scott Storch and Scott Storch breaking out,
when he played some Brandy shit,
the Beyonce's, he had Lean Back, he had 50 just a little bit. The dude. Yeah. Scott Storch is just like number one record after number one record, and then Scott Storch got affiliation to the Roots. Yes, so he played how you call it, I think a joint from the Roots. He did the joint he did for Eve. He did joints with Dre. Mm-hmm. So it was just that to me, it was like they went 20 songs for 20 songs.
His catalog is long.
It's crazy, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think Manny may have got him on 3. It was, to me, I was like, yo, this was a body bag. Yeah. Manny was playing all kind of skits. I'm like, yo, Manny must have took the day to arrange and create skits dedicated to disrespecting Scott Storch for his drug use, right, instead of arranging his records. Listen. And it was evident that Scott Storch was taking it serious, because when it came on, Scott Storch was like, oh, all right, Manny was going through his computer, and he was like, let me see which one I'm going to play. And Scott Storch was like, oh, you don't have your tracks lined up?
No, man, you had something.
Scott Storch had all his joints lined up, ready to go. Like, I'm hitting them with this one first, and I'm hitting them with that.
Don't fuck with Scott.
Like,
that brother's in there. You smoke a pound of weed a day. Yeah. I would love to be in a Scott Storch session, son.
That's all he was doing. He was smoking and destroying Manny. Yo, Manny Fresh looked bad, yo.
He couldn't keep up.
Yo, at the end, Manny Fresh was like, yo, anything you need, I'm here, this, that, or whatever. I was looking. Yo, I'm sorry. I had to put in the comments, Manny, Scott don't want to be from you.
Melodically, he's a scientist on them keyboards. You see
how he was playing the keys, too, while he was playing his beats. Playing the keys right there, too.
High as a fucking kite.
Yeah. Killing it.
Just enjoying the moment, like, this nigga don't even know where he's going. I'm about to open up on him.
There was some joints like
they want to put things together. You know what I like to see? I like to see Pharrell and Scott.
That'd be a good one.
That would be a dope battle.
They switched it because you know who Scott Storch was originally supposed to go against? T-Pain. Why would Scott Storch go against T-Pain? But T-Pain is battling somebody tomorrow.
What T-Pain did? He got a stripper shit that I love. Hold on, son. T-Pain
against T-Pain. It was supposed to be Scott Storch versus T-Pain. Then it was Scott Storch versus Manny, and now it's T-Pain versus I don't know. T-Pain going against somebody this weekend.
What the fuck he got?
Yo, I don't know.
Hold on, son. T-Pain?
T-Pain. I'm in love with a stripper.
That's all I know right now. I know you got something else.
T-Pain. So, and then Neo versus Jonte Austin. That was, yo.
Neo, wow.
Neo versus
Jones,
Jonte
his first
Austin.
album, son. I still listen to that. I go back to that and listen just a couple of times. Like, dude, is it?
Yeah. You know what? Also, from that
Neo.
particular battle that came out of it, for me, I was listening. I was like, damn, because for me, I like Neo, but I've never listened. When I listen to Neo, like you said, I listen to like his whole albums. But listening to like his body of work, like the different stuff that he did, all this shit's fire, but all of it pretty much sound the same.
His first album was an Illmatic. It's in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's a classic for a new artist to come out with the quality of sound and music like that. As a young guy, you can't say nothing less that was a dope album.
All his stuff sounded the same. All of it. I was like, damn, why does every joint?
He got his own style, his own cadence.
T-Pain versus Lil Jon.
Now that's a battle.
T-Pain
and I think Lil Jon will get him over one.
I think so too. T-Pain versus Lil Jon. That's who it is. But yeah, so it was Neo versus Jonte Austin.
I remember being in a club in Charlotte. Girl I used to deal with in Baltimore. Her cousin was getting married, and we took them to the club after they got married, and they played to the windows in that club. I've never seen a Dirty South losing. Yo, the entire it was rumbling in there. I'm like, wow. I was like, it was a dope moment because they had just got married.
Yeah.
We in there celebrating. They played that. They shouted them out. I was like, yeah, this is a party, right? It was crazy.
Lil Jon had his moment though. I mean, his beats to me they were what they were.
Nah, they was straight crunk. Whatever crunk was for that time in hip hop. Trust me.
Yo.
What was that like? 03?
I don't know. He had it for a minute though. He had it for a minute. Everybody wanted a Lil Jon beat. But the Jonte Austin, like, you know what? Neo was playing joints that he did
Jonte Austin, who's that?
Jonte Austin. Jonte Austin is the dude he wrote for Mariah, for Trey Songz.
Yeah. Okay.
Who else he wrote for? He wrote for, I think, that group Ideal. He wrote a lot of Mariah joints.
He got joints that I probably would.
Yeah. He got a lot of joints that if you probably didn't realize it was him.
That was probably him.
And that's when Neo had over him. Neo's an artist and a public figure, so everybody like, oh, Neo. But when he was playing his joints, people was like, yo, Jonte Austin did that? Fire.
Does Neo play the piano too?
I don't know. That brother's talented though.
Yes.
He's talented.
Yes.
I think Neo's probably gotten to a point in his career where his songwriting to me supersedes the actual music that he puts out. I think he crossed over so much that now he's trying to do like the Pitbull, Flow Rider type tracks.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you think about, like you said, we saying his first album was a classic album, and now he like
it's a good album, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for a new artist.
Shit,
you know
new artist. That's a good album for people who've been in the game for a minute.
I appreciate.
And then we had the Dream versus Sean Garrett.
Yeah.
Now, to me, the Dream versus Sean Garrett was like, it was both of them because Sean Garrett wrote for Beyonce too. So both of them just got into playing a bunch of Beyonce songs that they wrote on. And then afterwards, everybody online was saying like, wait a minute, they up here, they slandering the Queen because everybody thought that Beyonce had the mean pen game and that she was writing.
See, you gotta keep it to the producer. These are songwriters. I guess songwriter producer is the same. I mean, I don't know. Because when we're thinking about, in my mind, I'm thinking about production. I'm thinking about Pete Rock.
He's one of the best producers of all time.
Showbiz.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Primo. I'm thinking about Knots, Crisis, No ID. Rest in peace, Dilla. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm looking for them type of wars there.
Them are the dudes that people don't want to smoke with though. Like they asked the Alchemist. They asked the Alchemist
Right.
against somebody. Alchemist.
I
Was
seen
like,
someone
he ain't
someone
interested.
put Alchemist versus Havoc.
That'd be interesting. I think Alchemist probably would get Havoc though. I think he would get Havoc.
Yeah.
Like I like Havoc production, but I just think Alchemist is.
How about Straight Bangers versus Alchemist?
Yeah.
Listen, they in that producer world, because I listen to a lot of underground. Well, I won't say underground, but it's like underground because I'm not listening to today's music like from what they consider hip hop today. Because a lot of our greats are still making albums.
Yeah.
A lot of people that we like. Like I said, KRS-One just dropped the joint. Not too long ago, Tribe put something out.
Yeah. Tribe was Grammy nominated for the last album.
You know what I'm saying? And he's still putting out good music. Actually, there's a new Public Enemy album coming out too. So there's still quality music out there. Now, you know how things transition in time. Things. I think there's been a good period where hip hop we had a good run, and then just flat. Just.
Wait a minute, you think the run is over?
No, I think it's picked up. It's almost like watching a meter as it's a meter going up, and then it just levels off. But now we're starting to incline again because I just hear the quality of people's lyrical content now is starting to, people are putting more emphasis on conveying an image. So I have to be clear so you can see it. Mm-hmm. Knowledge is something you retain. So when I speak it, you can see it, you understand it. So I gotta put it in that form. So I have to know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you on that, cause
So I can't be out there. I can't be making harmonic noises or sounds to cover shit or you know what I'm saying. I can't keep repeating the same thing over. I have to say something maybe just in a full sentence, like
yeah. Now, I feel you on that, cause I think even like for me, even when I read a book. What captivates me is from good authors is that they're able to tell a story that allows me to visualize as if I was literally right there in the moment.
Make you put the book down and be like,
so this is what the artistry, this is what the artist is attempting to create.
Yeah.
So, because you really, that's a good segue into this generation versus previous generations of hip hop, and I think for me I would consider myself as somebody being previous generation of hip hop.
Likewise.
For me, it's been easier to sort of embrace Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole first on their lyricism, because from the era that I came from, being a lyricist was paramount. It was like, yo, you got to be a dope MC. You have to be
tenets of picking up a mic.
Yeah.
You had something to say. That's it.
Where I think the shift has gone is that lyricism, to me, has probably been on a decline. Although I'll say it's starting to bounce back. I'm listening now and I hear some dudes with some decent wordplay. From
86. I'm going low. Because 86, you look at all the albums that came out 86, it was a war. You had BDPPE, you had EP&D. I mean, the list goes on. It's like they always niggas fighting for a spot. But when you opened up all them albums, you listen to them, you got something different from them. You wanted to listen to all. Yeah, you eventually end up listening to all of them front to back. And lyricism just kept going up. 88, 90, 92, right into 95. Biggie come, Wu is here. 96, 97. I think right into 98. After 98,
you think it was all downhill? Think we peaked at 98?
Yeah, that's when it just
plateaued.
I was like, do I go further? Some people were still making joints. 50 was still, him and G Unit was pushing some things in the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 50 came out, I think, in 2000, right? Was it 99, 2000? He kind of put hip hop on his back from a lyrical content. Like I said, from what they say, people got to know what they say so you can see it. So when you listen to his music, you can see what his storytelling, so to speak, or what he was trying to convey.
2003, February 6, 2003.
So 98, there was a pocket.
Yeah. What I think is happened in hip hop is
Was that the No Limit years? I don't know. There was there was a pocket.
That was good. That was good entrepreneurship though.
We was getting right. We learned a different lesson in hip hop. Actually, I'm reading a book of his right now.
Yeah, so. that was entrepreneurial.
Shout out to Master P. Yes, I'm become successful, brother.
Yeah, but if you look at the direction that it's gone, it's went from lyricism and people not really being so much in tune with, the production back then was good, but the beat to me didn't make the artist, because people was, they had the wordplay, they were lyrical, it was so many different things.
And
but
people got lazy with having to find something to say, and just became more melodic.
That's what I was just about to say.
Melodic
it's
in the sense melody. Where I'm an artist, and they took the artist pen. They just took the artist pen and said, "Fuck it, I'm an artist. I don't have to break nothing down or formulate a word. I can express it this way." And when that became accepted, it was like, all right, you don't have to say that, but that sounds good. All you got to do is get one person to agree, and that's it. So, you know what I think when that started happening? Not that singing and none of that became in there. I'm going to just be honest. Ja Rule, his... and then you get on a track with DMX and you sound just like X. Yeah. So there was a pocket like, either you sing, you're like...
It was formulaic. Everything became about a formula. But what I will say about like the... So this is what makes me really step back and look at like what's going on in hip hop, because I remember bringing home the Machiavelli album when I with the CD, popping it in. My mom being like, "Yo, what the hell is that?" She's like, "Yo, why does every song on that sound so depressing?" And I just remember like my uncles and everybody saying like, "Yo,
was dark,
the
man.
Music." Like my uncles would always be like, "Yo, the music y'all got today ain't saying shit." But they came from a generation where people was listening to Marvin Gaye,
but like
Barry White, like people who were like literally like great composers or whatever. And I think that shift of where we are now as sort of like that previous generation, we're looking and we're like, so we had the Nas's, the Jay-Z's, and
the reason why we had the Nas's, the Jay-Z's, and even before that, the Kanes, the G-Raps, the KRS and the Roz, is that their influence of music came from the Marvin Gaye's and Michael Jackson's, and it was still that soulful rhythmic catch that you had to feel it, and you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know I got soul. When you hear that, you take it right back to '87. You get in the park, but the same way if someone heard James Brown, the same way if someone had Sam Cooke, the same way if someone heard Marvin Gaye, same way if someone heard Stevie Wonder. That feel, you know what I'm saying? That's a different cloth. Mm-hmm. Because the new generation, y'all old school, y'all, that's how y'all did it. So they pushed that little piece of gem. It's like, we don't want to fuck with that. We want to create our own shit. And we're going to do it like this. We're going to pop mollies. We're going to do all this bird bed. Fucking birdcage shit. Like,
because
God, son. But God bless him. God bless him, because there's an audience for it. And the audience are their peers.
Yeah. Because my, I have three children. My oldest, his ear is more eclectic. Like he'll listen to older stuff. He's not really so much into the newer stuff. 25.
25. So he's right there where, and Why, that's what you were listening to, Hard Body. So he caught that.
Yeah, yeah.
Same way with my oldest, Deja. I sometimes know she's listening to Straight Mary all day. It's like, where you from, son? like
quality music.
Well, how you listen to 411? But then she'll go listen to Tupac.
Yeah.
But then she'll listen to some new shit. I'm like, all right, she's in that world. She's right. She's right in between.
But I guess that's like the mixture I get. Like, so from him,
And she's a 97 baby.
and then moving to my daughter who's 21, and my youngest is 17. I get like a variety, and I hear like some of the stuff. And I remember my youngest coming to me and being like, "Yo, did you hear Lil Baby's album?" I'm like, "Lil Baby?" The dude said, "Wah, Lil Baby," or whatever. I was like, "Yo, that's not lyrical or this that." But then I thought about it. I ended up listening to it, and from the time to time he'll tell me like, "Yo, listen to Young Thug album or whatever," and I listened to it.
Right.
But I thought about, I don't know, have you ever seen the Chris Rock movie where Kerry Washington, I Think I Love My Wife?
I think I've seen
In the
that.
movie,
I've seen that movie.
Kerry Washington was talking to Chris Rock about the music that he listened to, and she was like, "Man, you got nigga ears," based on his selection of what he listened to or whatever.
Right.
And I thought about that. I'm like, shit, like, yo, I think sometimes we get to a position where we have old school ears.
You got nigga ears?
Yeah, we don't got nigga ears. We got old school ears where we like, yo, this don't sound familiar. You know, this don't have the lyricism that we once appreciated.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and then
I can see where that would make sense.
yeah,
But at the same time, music is a language, and truth be told, if you play it, anybody should be able to rock to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just maybe I'm biased, but I think the music that we grew up on fits that mold. You know what I'm
it has
saying?
more substance.
When something about a drum and a snare or a piano riff or a violin, you know what I'm saying? However, there's something about those instruments being played, the fact that they even instruments being played, you know what I'm saying? Not nothing synthesized or computer texturized or whatever. And you hear the quality of that. Music, let me tell you something. Again, something man need to know about the science of sound. Sound has a whole different radius. We talking about frequencies going in your ear and how it can raise your blood pressure and drop the shit too the same way. Music has to not agree with the body, but it's almost a natural agreement from when you hear it, which makes you naturally tap your foot or nod your
to
head,
speak to you.
or even one. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
speak to
So
you.
without you even knowing it, it's already spoken to and your body's already responded without your admission. So music has that power. If it doesn't reach everyone collectively in a sense, then you actually start to question yourself, well, what beat per minute or what frequency on that? I've been listening to this in this range for so long. Now your ass done went up a couple megahertz. Fucking my beat per minute up because, and that's what it really is. We're used to some, I think, in our generation and our parents before us are used to something smooth and soothing because of the things we were going through. After coming and dealing with Jim Crow and fucking, we needed something for one uplifting. But then, if I wasn't feeling right, I needed a love song. I needed a little Teddy.
Yeah,
I need
you want
stylistics. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, think about it. Just now when I was
We'll never
talking-
get a stop. We'll never get a
Nah,
Teddy
you ain't
Pendergrass
getting that
today.
again. So, we were talking about just now, like this discussion. My son was saying, he was like, you know, our generation had the storytellers, and now this generation is about the beats. I'm like, he's on to something with that, you know, like because this generation all you hear people like, yo, this beat slap.
But both come from a creative source. I told you the reason why we the best storytellers because a lot of our creativity came out of pain and despair. Just thinking of something better than where we are right at the time and really seeing that shit.
I mean, there's no doubt like the content of our content, previous generation versus this content. Now, like the content to me is all about like how much money you got, how much drugs you do,
And our
stuff
content
like that.
came with knowing who you are, respect the sisters, ladies first.
That's what I think the previous generation had.
Who
like,
you are,
having fun in music, and,
business, knowing
Yeah.
your culture, knowing where you was from. Be proud of yourself. Learn something. Come on, son.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of gangster stuff going on, but people were bigging up themselves, man.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
the
all of them.
X-Clans of the world.
Brand
you know.
Nubian, Poor Righteous Teachers, of course, KRS, of course, Rakim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they played with words, and they was more boastful. You know what I'm saying? More like, oh, son, you whack, son. And break you down with your clothes. Your shirt is this, that. Just out of play. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, well, it was kind of to make you look bad because you wanted to be the best MC.
Bravado always been in hip-hop.
But it got to the point where, I don't know, did the ego get attached to just, I don't know.
Ego, you know what it is? Money. The money element now. Money is it's all about money.
Good recipe for ego.
The love of it has diminished. Look, last night I was up late and, like I said, watching TV, and I was watching Breaking 2.
You call it that? Wow.
Breaking 2. Whew. For those who've never seen Breaking 2, go back and watch Breaking 1 and Breaking 2.
I love it when I catch Beat Street on the Humble.
Oh, I DVR Beat Street. It was coming on afterwards. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to stay up that late. But Breaking 2,
catch that on the Humble.
And I looked at Breaking 2, and I thought about when I was a kid when Breaking 2 came out, and I was like, damn, yo, Breaking was the shit. But I looked at it.
Was you
now,
disappointed?
I was very disappointed. You know why I was so disappointed? I was disappointed because I'm like, yo, this shit right here is the reason why hip hop has become commercialized. Like, I looked at it, and I'm like, yo, this is nothing about the artistry,
right?
And the pure, most foremost, beautiful essence of hip hop.
Wasn't the real breakdancing to me.
I mean, you know who was nice in it though?
Turbo
was the man.
Turbo was the man.
Boogaloo Shrimp. But everybody else, I'm like, yo, these is trained classical professional
That versus
dancers.
B Street, night and day.
Yeah,
and that's why that's how it's
B
like.
Street is for the culture. Check it out.
That's what breaking was the commercialized hip hop. B Street was everyday hip hop. That's just how we lived.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Watching, just living that. Like I said, them blocks that we had to walk down, going to the store. We was living like that through the summer, through the winter. It didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for beats, rhymes, and turntables and park jams to come out of that.
And graffiti. Don't forget
Graffiti.
Yeah.
How you wore your Pumas, your fat laces, the clothes, the Kangols, the windbreaker suits. We went through so many phases that are now just styles now that people just it came into American fiber and fabric. We changed the landscape. We're still changing the landscape.
Shit is sad because Asia is more hip hop than us now.
They're the purists.
Yeah.
Actually, the international crowd is more of the purists than here because, our attention span is short, son. Attention span is short. And these babies here, this generation here, son. They don't want to listen to nothing you got.
The new artists, though, like I said, like there's some new artists that, like, I guess my ear is sort of in tune now where I've kind of let down my preconceived notion about the lyricism. Maybe I've said, like, yo, I know I'm not getting this from Roddy Ricch. This is just what Roddy Ricch is.
Right.
So
they're
Roddy Ricch.
They're those artists, man.
Lil Baby, The Baby, Young Thug, even Pop Smoke with the drill music in New York. Rest in peace to Pop Smoke.
Rest in peace.
Young
Cat, man.
Yeah, it's just like listening to them now and seeing what they're doing. Like I went to a party a few months back, and on like some of these young cats' music, I was like, damn, like I didn't realize this music was this impactful. Like, yo, dudes was going crazy. I was like, oh shit.
That's what I'm saying. It's a different cadence, and it's made and it's altered for this generation. Take it or leave it. Because I try to listen to some of the stuff that Kiana that Kiana listens to, and some of it is catchy. Some of it is
It's melodic.
melodic.
Right? Yeah.
I like some of it. Some of it is real raunchy, and I'm looking at her like, you playing that shit while I'm sitting here? Like, I heard that shit. Like, they should try to change it sometimes, but sometimes she just listen to it.
Put a Mary.
And I don't hate it. It's just not my
Cup of tea.
my preferred taste of listening.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't. You know, music for me. You know, especially if I burn something, if I roll up and burn something, my receptors go off, and I'm thinking I'm an MC now. Like, I'm looking at the words that.
Yeah, Big Drip is not thought provoking.
You know what I'm saying? Listening to old De La Soul, or one of my favorite MCs is Sadat X. Just because of his off cadence.
Sadat X,
and the things he
aka
said.
Derek X, Urban Cowboy.
You know what I mean? From the Bronx. There's guys that I like that they purposely put things in their rhymes to make you say, what are you saying?
Yeah.
Like, did you hear that? What that mean? Like, and you I used to go and dissect niggas' rhyme. Like, oh shit, let me go see what that means.
And this was before you could do Googles too. You couldn't do Googles. You
Yeah,
had to actually do your legit research.
Right. Go get a dictionary.
Or talk to your OG.
Or go right.
Yeah, talk to your OG. So let's transition into underrated MCs.
Oh
you
God.
give your underrated MCs first and why you think they're underrated, and then I'll give my underrated MCs. And I try to pick underrated MCs that I felt they're underrated, but I felt like people would know them instead of digging into like the MF Dooms and Tech Nines and.
I was gonna go there with MF Doom.
MF Doom is dope,
but even him being dope, you gotta be an MC purist to know that, because everyone's not gonna come off liking MF Doom. But
that goes back to what you're saying about lyricism. Like,
look
for lyrics. Some people
I got
just
one
listen
for
for
you.
beats.
Look how in Live at a Barbecue, Nas wasn't the only sharp one on there. One of my most underrated is Akinelli.
Yeah.
He might have made a wild song. He got everyone talking about that shit. Everyone was singing "Put It in Your Mouth,"
Yeah.
like a gospel song. When that shit came on in the club, everybody in the spot.
It still ring off.
Play that the
Yeah,
night.
it still
Come
ring
on.
off. So you got Akinelli.
I got Akinelli, PMD of EPMD.
Yo, that PMD of EPMD. So just so people understand, PMD.
Starang Wonder of Boot Camp.
PMD at one point was mentioned almost like in the same breath as Rakim, somewhat because of the tone and how they sounded.
Yeah.
But PMD he's definitely somebody who's very underrated that people don't appreciate.
Yep.
And EPMD, first 3 albums to me,
Just listen to PMD.
was crazy.
Hey, not that he didn't have a gimmick. I won't even use that. But his cadence just read to people immediately versus the low tone, the monotone of PMD. But if you listen to PMD, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, I like them.
PMD, Starang Wonder from Boot Camp.
Yeah. One of my favorite boot camp joints is La Fleur, La Fly, La Sky.
Niggas don't never give McGar AG his judge. No, I won't say that. Purists know AG.
What's your favorite AG joint?
Shit. There's a joint on a Chronodome or whatever we call it is, the album he got that I love on there. Burn It Down Right Now. Some shit is dope. I gotta play it for you.
AG is member DITC.
DITC, man.
Yeah. What's their biggest hit? You think their biggest hit was probably Can I Get a Soul Clap?
Might be.
Probably the most known.
Most known, most played.
Yeah.
Probably somewhere out there spinning right now at someone's party or something like that. That's definitely in a lot of people's set when they are doing maybe an 80s, 90s party or something like that. Or a good set or some good hip hop. You definitely play that. But Man, they got so many. Jean Grey, Rod Digger.
Jean Grey.
And there's so many MCs, man.
Rod Digger was with was it the Outsiders? Who was Rod Digger with?
I think it was from Jersey.
Yeah.
She came in with Bus.
But before Bus, she was with the how you call it, the cast from Jersey, I believe, the Outsiders.
Outsiders?
Yeah, Rod Digger go off.
Son.
Rod Digger go off.
Step.
and when people even mention like the top female MCs, a lot of times they don't mention how. Yeah, Rod Digger.
I like Rhapsody.
Rhapsody's nice too.
I like what's her name? Lyric Jones. She got a joint called Ski Mask with Rod Digger. And these two chicks, I'm like, wow. Just the wordplay, the play off of each other. Like a rain goes by, but there's two chicks on some real grind. Which shit is dope. Remember the Licks?
Of course.
I don't know where they went. They just went into drunk. I don't know, they just drunk too much. Where the fuck they been? They just loved y'all, son.
The Licks bought Exhibit
my man,
in the game, right?
The big homie Sean Bucks put me on to the Licks.
They bought Exhibit in the game, though, right?
They bought Exhibit in the game.
They bought Exhibit in the game. Exhibit, I think, crossed over. They didn't cross over. But you know what the Licks always reminded me of? The West Coast version of the Beat Nuts.
Yes, sir.
That's
I got Juju on here. Juju of the Beat Nuts. As your son.
I've never thought of Juju as like a.
Listen to some of them joints, man. I don't know.
I like the Beat Nuts, but from an MC standpoint,
but I know a Beat Nut joint when that shit come on, son. Even to their production, and they've been in production a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Their beats is crazy.
Their beats is always their beats.
Yeah, their beats is crazy. Psycho Les, Juju.
Juju, son.
Who else you got?
Sheik Luch, of course, but you know, he's in a group that where
he overshadowed
his compadres kind of do a little overshadowing or whatever. Large Professor.
Large Professor's a dope MC too, but Large Professor's production, I think, overshadows his MCing.
I've been listening to
that
Large
first
Professor.
Main Source album.
When I first heard, I even live at the barbecue.
Friendly Game of Baseball. Remember that?
Friendly Game of Baseball.
Was looking at the front door.
And looking at the front door.
Yeah.
To me, between him and Pete Rock, I thought after hearing Rakim and Kane and G-Rap, Professor and Pete Rock's music transitioned in a different way. I was like, wow, now we getting soulful with this shit. Because now they got horns and other sounds that wasn't in Raw, that wasn't in, you know what I'm saying, Follow the Leader, or wasn't in fucking KRS with some BDP shit. They just, music sonically took a whole different cadence and was like, oh shit. It made you feel like hip hop is getting older or about to get older. We're about to grow up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At that point.
It's at the advancement, you know, both of them.
That's when you had Heavy D.
You read the Juice Crew book? I read the Juice. Book? Yeah, they got a Juice Crew book. And
that would make sense.
In it, they talk about like how pretty much Pete Rock was a disciple from All He Want.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
At the what was that shit called? Mr. Magic.
Mr. Magic Rap Attack.
Right. I remember Pete. I remember Pete being on there sometime.
Yeah, Pete Rock was a disciple, and Large Professor. People don't realize Large Professor been around for a long time producing. Long time producing. Like to me, Large Professor's like he. Well, we could eventually talk about underrated producers, but Large Professor.
Rice brother, Bubs, my man. But started a little rap career back in the days. And got to meet the likes of, got to meet Large Professor, know him by first name basis and all that. And it was funny because right around that time, me and Bubs were so pumped about Friendly Game of Baseball.
Yeah,
and our famous line is RBI, real bad injury. It was like these niggas. This nigga here said that shit like.
Yeah.
And we were on the block. We're like, this shit is happening every day.
Yeah. Who else you got?
That's who I just right off the top of my head. But I think Inspector Deck.
Inspector Deck, another person who I say is overshadowed by his crew, but
His
Inspector Deck, clean, like yo, it's just he to me, Inspector Deck had the whole package. You know what the one thing Inspector Deck didn't have that I think when we talking about like the transition as hip hop transition, I don't know if he had the image like the Ray and Ghost, or maybe not the images may not be the right word, maybe like the personality or
Right.
the persona or whatever.
Maybe star quality.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
If that's a Hollywood term, but he's the rebel lioness, son.
Yeah.
He sit back and he do the knowledge and take you to
Solid,
court.
yeah, solid MC.
So he's supposed to be in the cut. He's fucking 007 over.
Yeah.
He's. I'm surprised he ain't turning his a name to Bond or something like that. Deck Bond or some shit.
Solid MC.
I know there's some more because there's so many people that I like, and I say that to people. They be like, "Who?" Everyone's so stuck on Jay and Big and Pac and Nas. I'm like, do you have ears? You don't listen. You don't hear anybody else speak, and people. That's their gospel, man.
Yeah. Mine's so I'm gonna start off with my first one, which is probably a lot of people gonna be like, nah, this person ain't underrated, but they are. To me, Cool G Rap. I think G Rap is an underrated MC, and I think G Rap's influence can be heard.
He just got an album with 38
people,
Special.
Yeah, I heard. And a lot of people favorite MCs. Music, G-Rap's influence is there. Like, to me, G-Rap was a huge influence on Nas.
Yes, sir.
Huge influence for Pun. If you listen to Pun with the multiple syllables, you hear G-Rap in there. G-Rap.
I think Punch, that's one of his favorite rappers.
Yeah, G-Rap, really, the storytelling, Road to Riches, Truly Yours.
That whole album.
And Large Professor did
Money in the Bank.
Was doing joints, too, for him.
Rock and roll, rock.
When Gangsta Rap was on the West Coast, G-Rap
had it on the East Coast.
Had it on the East Coast. We're on the run.
Yes, sir.
G-Rap, to me, always had to live, though, in Big Daddy Kane's shadow.
Yeah, I can see that.
Always, because they down at the same crew. So when the Symphony 1 and 2 came out, everybody was like, yo. And Master Ace to me is a dope lyricist also.
Yeah.
Master Ace is a dope lyricist. But everybody was like, yo, I gotta hear
G-Rap. I started tagging my name Master the way he tagged me with the A instead of the ER.
Yeah. Everybody's like, yo, I gotta hear G-Rap and Kane verse. And I just think that G-Rap never was able to get out of Kane's shadow. And I don't think G-Rap ever had a big enough song that really exposed him to everybody. But Kane
kind of took off. Kane, when he started fucking with Madonna and doing sex porn, whatever he was doing, he was doing posing and
so I
took a different, you know what I mean? And maybe G-Rap said, you know, I ain't with all that, man. I'm gonna just be myself. But nobody was looking for that back then. But then NWA took over gangster rap, and then West Coast one. They all took over gangster rap at that point.
I can't. The Juice Crew book that I got though, it's a digital, so it's on my iPad. But in it, like G-Rap, they talk a lot about G-Rap, and G-Rap went through all kind of medical issues and everything, and you know, he had issues with coke, like just a lot of shit that puts really into perspective why G-Rap can pop like he did.
That was them 80s times, man. Drugs, that crack era book told you everything that was going on in the black community from a crack perspective, which was pretty much 50% of people living, whether he was dealing drugs or not, he was living in those communities still. I can imagine the coke game and all that stuff.
Yeah, he said that.
Making crazy money.
MC Shan was getting coked up.
He was just getting lit.
Yeah. Then my next dude, which I told you, I think last week, I was telling you, OC.
Yeah.
OC, Down with Digging in the Crates. Also, to me, OC's
with
first
the
album,
ITC member, no doubt.
Word Life, classic album. And I had a lot of early, like, Buck Wild.
Stop fronting on the Bronx, man.
But OC, oh my God. And you know, what's bug is that, you know, Search had Nas and OC at the same time, the Searchlight Productions.
OC from Organized Noise. Organized Confusion.
Yep.
With Pharoah Monch.
Pharoah Monch.
Pharoah Monch is
a beast too. With Pharoah Monch.
I don't have Pharoah Monch on this list.
OC. If you've never heard Word Life, pick up Word Life. Word Life to me is a classic album from start to finish. He also He was on Wild Pitch.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I think Main Source may have been on Wild Pitch also.
I think think so too.
You know, Wild Pitch just didn't. They never pushed him how he's supposed to be pushed. His biggest record, I think, probably was his duet, his joint with Big L, Dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, but OC, take it to the West Coast, lyricism, Roscos. Yeah. Roscos, first album too, Soul on Ice.
I can see that.
Roscos, lyrics. So, what's real bug to me is like, yo, back then, and like, think about like 94 to 97 when people talked about lyrics on the West Coast. People really wasn't talking about Pac so much because Pac was still really, you know, Pac was Pac, but Pac wasn't synonymous with
Pac
the West Coast.
Overshadowed everybody.
Pac was me against the world, Pac and all that. But
Word.
everybody, when they was talking about lyrics, they was talking about Snoop, Corrupt, Dog Pound. You listen to Snoop's records today. I listen to Snoop records today. I'm like, yo, Snoop got bangers, but I'm like, this Snoop is not a lyrical dude.
Nah, son. Snoop was melodic.
He's not a lyrical dude.
He was cat the ride with the hat, baby.
Yeah, but listen to Roscos.
But he'll get witty with it. He'll get witty.
Listen to Roscos' Soul on Ice first album. Just straight lyricism. You know, and speaking of dudes living in other people's shadow, just to go back to G-Rap for a minute. G-Rap was in Big Daddy Kane's shadow. But to me, another dude that I think is always going to be an underrated MC is probably AZ. I think AZ is a dope lyricist, but always going to be in Nas' shadow. Always. Anytime people mention AZ, and oh, that's the dude that was on Nas' album. You know, and that's going to be his claim to fame. That, and I also think that AZ had that early success with Sugar Hill, and then most of his records was trying to chase a hit and all the old popular samples and flipping and bouncing that. And I just think that's what,
it didn't mesh out.
Yeah.
And I still like him, but he's still a good MC.
He is. And
I heard him on a couple of freestyle. No, actually, he did a joint recently with Styles. What's it called? Not Safe? Oh, my God.
Styles and who else?
Oh, my God.
And then the last person I'm going to mention that is the Emcees MC that people will be like, yo, how could this person be underrated but have won a Grammy? Black Thought.
Look right there.
Black Thought to me, like, if you speak to some of the dudes that people say, yo, this dude is lyrical, you go to them and be like, yo, who's a lyricist? They'll tell you Black Thought. Black Thought to me is an MC's MC. And I think Black Thought is underappreciated by people who listen to rap for commercial success, but he's a stone lyricist.
People don't have the patience to want to listen to someone
and pick it apart.
Right.
And pick it apart, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I respect about Black Thought, because even when we're in a time where attention spans are short, he still pushes the envelope. Mm-hmm. Nah, listen, man, sit down and pay attention. Yeah, and here we are with this coronavirus shit, because people don't pay attention.
If young cats want to hear Black Thought and they don't want to dig back into his early work, he on the last Eminem album. He on the last Eminem album. Killed it.
But still get all the Rue shit.
Killed it. Like,
still get all the Rue shit. Just type in Black Thought, all the Rue shit. I got all this shit for Phrenology, all the way up to, I think, Fire or something like that. Yeah. There was a joint that they did. Black and to think, this is one dude around percussionists and drummers, and he's getting that live sound. Oh, son. Yeah. I think that's what drives him more. There's a freestyle he did called 77 Bars. And I think the video had him, if I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken, these guys were wearing like Bill Clinton masks, president's masks, and he was kidnapping niggas and bringing them into the white van. And in the 77 bars, he's just ripping them apart. But he's on the, the video was dope. And he would not stop. I think in the van, Questlove with the drums, and he just, the shit was dope. But if you listen to those lyrics, you're like, how this nigga go from I'm peaceful like Gandhi, holding it. He goes through so many metaphors and cadences and variations, and then word similarities, and then you know the nigga done read every synonym in a thesaurus.
Yeah, wordplay
It's
crazy.
and that's why I liken him just like I like electronica, because he knows how to use words. Nas is another guy that knows how to use words. There's a few guys that are just word smiths, and they do it in such a way where they'll even throw slang in there to kind of marry up the two.
Yeah,
Very, very. Royce is like that. I like Royce,
Royce
is that, and so even the whole Slaughterhouse dudes.
yeah.
Joe, Crooked Eye, and
Joel Ortiz.
Yala.
Joel Ortiz.
You know what I mean?
So, but Roscos to me could have fit in there with them.
Yeah.
He could have fit. He could have fit
Yeah,
in. All right, so let's transition from that and let's talk about the internet. Do you think the internet helped hip hop or hurt hip hop?
It made it easier because these guys
Made it easier to get on and get the exposure,
get
right?
the exposure, man. All you gotta do is do a couple of things, and before you know it, you just got people watching you. Now, before it was where you stood. Hip hop was right where you stood, whether that was on a block, in a park, in a tunnel, in a building. It was right there. You had to take that act that you was doing in your building, go downtown, get on the train, and go downtown. You can't beat it now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, it was, the internet has helped hip hop get around the world. Although,
That's the part. It's global. It definitely made it global.
It made it global faster. Because these brothers people were still going out of town. And I think that's why the international game, there's so much purists, because they appreciated those live events to watch.
And by the way, the people that we mentioned as underrated MCs are the people who are still touring globally.
Sadat X, Large Professor, Diamond D, and AG just did a tour through Europe and ripped the shit. They played all of their joints.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what type of catalog that is for a purist hip hop to just hear AG, Sadat X. And Sadat X got a couple albums that he just made.
Yeah. You know what?
Diamond D too. Actually, Diamond D just dropped one in December or Thanksgiving.
I wish we could could speak to them and tell them, like, you know what, stay pure and don't buy into the commercialization of what's coming your way.
I don't even think these guys are so, that's probably why they stayed what we might consider underrated, because they're not. I won't say they're modest, but they're not. They're the purest. You know what I'm saying?
Stay consistent.
They enjoy the process of creating something that was once not created, and just putting sounds, and someone to come up with an idea to put this together. That had to start with Flash. That had to start with Bam, and DJs blending songs. You know, it's one thing to have Michael Jackson playing, but damn, I want to get Stevie. I want to get this Stevie song. How am I gonna do that without having to cut it and have it? Oh shit! Like, I stopped the song and start this one.
Well, the DJs this day, you know, they just
the
cut
Serato, son.
Play your drop.
What is it? 92 beats a song? 92 beats a minute. We find every other song 92 beats, and you got a fucking library of songs that you can put. That's gonna be the same beat per minute, and all you gotta do is put that on the other one and hit and just move. Now you gotta just move the fader.
Yeah.
The mixer fader over to the left.
My only thing with the internet now, like, the con to me of hip hop is like, yo, it just made the music disposable. Like, you know, remember there was a time when you go to the store, you get an album, you get a CD or whatever it is, you listen to it again, you sit with it, you go out on the block, everybody talking about what their favorite song is. And that one album would rock for a period of time before people be like, yo, we need a new album from such and such. But now, it's like a dude will drop their album. Physical copies are limited, so people will stream it. And then a week later, people be like, yeah, I heard he got new music, or put out the new music. And that's why I think lyricism,
attention span,
it's like,
man.
like, nobody sits and actually consumes and embraces the music. What's the last real classic hip-hop album that we had that we be like, yo, that's a classic hip-hop album? Because when you was talking Jay, Big Nas, when they was putting out albums, people was sitting with it for a minute and then they dub it like, all right, this is a classic album after they listen multiple times. Right? So now it's like, I really can't think off the top of my head, like, yo, what's the last classic hip hop album that we had that we was like, yo, all right, this album. And even with the high quality, even with the Kendrick Lamar albums and the J. Cole albums, I listen to them, but to be honest with you, the replay value to me is not the same.
So my album that you can just put in and replay.
That could rock, right? Like right now, you could put Reasonable Doubt on and still probably hop in the car and ride nonstop, listening to Reasonable Doubt without skipping the track and be like, this shit's still fire.
Now for me, well, I'm gonna be biased, but man,
a recent one. What's a recent album you could think hip hop that you could think of and be like, damn, like, yo, this is a classic album. Because off the top, I really can't think of one. And I don't think it's because the artists haven't made quality content. I just think that we on to the next so fast. Like, okay. And it's the market is so flooded and oversaturated. You can't really sit with an album for a while and consume it and actually appreciate it. You know, you get 6 albums coming out in a week and you're like, all right, I listened to this. Let me move on. Let me listen to the next one. Let me listen to the next one. You know, like there's albums of people put out that you don't even get to, or you don't get through all of it because by the next week somebody else got a new album out. I haven't listened to Jeezy's new album yet either.
You know what album was pretty good throughout? That Jadakiss Fabulous album.
Okay.
I like that.
Would you say it's a classic though?
I would say that's a great listening album, hip hop album.
So it's not a classic.
Nah. not taking any value from it. Cause I think the production and the way them guys rhyme, the way they see them guys, they know the cadence of a beat, so they know how to plug and play words. And ride the beat right. So listening to that album, I really enjoy it. But from a hip hop standpoint, and these guys are hip hop, but I think they challenge themselves too, and listen to certain music. Like, I'll try that. But I wouldn't be like, nah, I don't think I did that. But you still rhyme crazy dope on it, because I'm listening. Also listening, but that beat don't match your voice to me. Like, but they choose their beats. I don't choose their beats. So, I don't know, because I'm all over the place when I like great sounding stuff. My sonic ear is like something about boom boom tss, boom boom tss, boom boom. Something about that boom bap and that repetitive, and then you may have a certain melody or a riff from a singer, a high pitched song, or a low pitched barry. It's something to throw in there, just a little. RZA was good for making beats like that. That has something in there that just have you grooving. They just like, oh shit, how you catch that? When he did Cream, and I know that's a 93 beat per minute. I know that shit by heart. When that came in with the boom 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 boom, but then it starts all over. Come on, son.
Yeah.
Music like that, but that's that boom bap. If it don't have that, if an album's not like that, and usually albums like that, I get that to Primo, because I'm gonna get that the entire album.
Yeah.
So I don't even think I even got an album.
There's none.
That's like that, cause
yeah.
And you gotta respect the artists, because they're artists, so they can go in any direction they want to fucking go in.
Yeah.
And make.
Yeah. That's what I said. Like, I don't put that off on the artists. I just think that we haven't really had time to sit with music and consume it and really be like, pick it apart. Whereas the albums that we say are classic albums, they're classic because they're timeless. We listen to them and we've had time to sit with them.
And you figure a good album, 14 tracks, 13 tracks. If 10 to 11 of them songs out of them 13 tracks, or what you would love to hear, it's a great album.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a classic album.
yeah.
Anything less than that, you know you love the artist and you take it for what it is. Like, I wouldn't have chose. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff. It's just that I wouldn't have chose that beat. Sometimes it's saying, how come this producer is not working with this artist? They just hip hop. We on the same planet. So they can't. I don't know how. And then when you finally get this, like when they finally get together, it's like, damn, y'all never worked together.
Yeah. You know why also I think that we haven't probably had with you and I, and I'm sure like for the listeners and other folks, they probably could pick out, well, this album is a classic album recently, but the stuff that we categorize as classic albums probably had anywhere from 10 to 14 tracks, maybe 15 tracks. Now you see people put 23 songs.
You know what I think is a great album?
22, by the way, 22 tracks on an album is entirely too much. Like the attention span of a human being to listen to 22 hours. Like Lil Wayne's last album to me was full of a bunch of fillers. You know, had he would have stripped that, it was fillers and it was a lot of dated music. Had he would have probably stripped that down and picked like his 10, 12 favorite songs, probably would have been a lot better album.
Remember Life is Good album, Nas album?
Yeah, I thought that was a good album.
Good album.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't have it as a classic, but I thought it was a good album.
It was enough on there melodically to change the cadence but keep you still interested.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If the beat don't keep me interested, forget about what he got to say. and I give those who I know who have always had something to say the benefit of the doubt. But once it don't rap right around, I'm like,
why are you on this track?
Why are you doing it?
Yeah, why are you on this track?
And I guess, sometimes you got to keep up with the times and cadences and styles change. But sometimes you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? You got to change it up.
Yeah. So let's
Black Thought don't change shit up.
Nah, and it worked for him.
And it worked for him.
Let's end on this. Producer. Pick one producer. I know we didn't recently have this as a topic. But
just one?
Yeah, pick one, just one, because this is. I think we could be here all day.
If I'm doing an album, Master Rob album, and I'm an MC, and I want someone to make me at least just one producer.
One. No, hold on. All right. So are we saying favorite producer or are we saying underrated producer? Which one are we gonna go with?
Oh, we're going underrated producer.
Underrated producer. This is a tough one. What do you think? Now we already talked about Large Professor, Diamond D.
Underrated producer.
Yeah, Buck Wild.
You got Buck Wild. You got Lord Finesse.
Yeah. The Beat Nuts we spoke about.
Juju. Wow.
Underrated is hard. Pick favorite.
My
favorite producer and why?
Pete Rock. Because he invites soul into the game in a way. The way he changed Public Enemy and Run DMC with oh my God, shut him down and the King.
Yeah.
My fucking God.
Pete Rock, boy, you listen to Pete Rock, the drums be swinging, everything is moving.
Everything, because he wants you to rock. He wants you to carry. He wants you to feel what he's feeling, and I love that about him. So, Pete Rock, that's always been my favorite producer. Everyone came after that, and I love Primo. I love Diamond D. I love the whole DITC. I love Showbiz.
Q-Tip too, I think.
You know who's underrated? I give you some underrated production and MCing. The Legion. But Molecules, Dice Man, and their production, them niggas is hit. Them niggas is BX.
Yeah.
And they fall under that DIT song.
So the Legion, boy, I haven't heard something from them in a minute.
Dice Man got an album.
Really?
Actually, the Legion have an album, all three of them. And then Dice Man got his own joint called Power. Don't get me, I'm messing it up. It's the Power something. And you get some quality, some joints on there.
Yeah.
From the typical boom bap user sample. And I think nowadays it's a lot easier to make beats too, just as well as it is to DJ and how to put things together.
You know, you can tell the difference between like production, like, you know, we say in the OC album, on Word Life he had a song called Born to Live, and he used to keep rising to the top sample.
Yeah.
Think about how Buck Wild did that, and Buck Wild, I think either it's Buck Wild or Lil Finesse that did it, and it was like heavy. The sample was there, but it was heavy on the drums. It was like
I would consider Buck Wild underrated.
Yeah, they were killing the pads, but Pete Rock used it too, man, with the joint with CL. What you gonna do? And it had the, oh my god, like the tempo, the drums, like, yeah, Pete Rock is definitely
Cause Pete Rock, I think Pete Rock to me gives birth to Knife Wonder.
Yeah, another underrated Knife Wonder, I would say also underrated. What bugged me out about Knife Wonder though was like, Knife Wonder did Threat for Jay-Z on the Black album.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to me it's just straight R. Kelly, the straight R. Kelly sample. You know how you call it? I'm like, damn, why would Jay-Z? You got Knife Wonder. Mm-hmm. Why would you ask Knife Wonder to just loop R. Kelly? I mean, yo, the song is fire, but that to me, that's not one of Knife Wonder's.
This is a classic Pete Rock right here.
Yeah. Pete Rock record collection is sick, you know that too. Yeah. Between the
see how that came,
sample,
that piano came in there, and that's not even how the beat go.
Yeah.
That's Lost of Lovin'. When that beat come on, it's like, yo, sonically, maybe he's down there fucking with shit. He made a mistake, hit something, gave him a sound.
Yeah.
Sonically, he does them, and him as well as Large Professor. They take something about sounds other than your normal. Niggas that take pots, pans, something fell. I think another person that picked up the sound thing is Timbaland.
Yep.
He catch a baby crying,
yeah,
glass breaking, whatever. Just a certain ding dong that turns into something for them.
Yeah. All right, so this concludes episode 3. Old school, new school, no school rule.
No school rule, baby.
We can be found on Google Play now, also.
Yeah, Spotify, iTunes.
Yep, iTunes, Spotify, Podomatic, SoundCloud.
Check us out, man.
Follow us at No ID on Instagram.